Hi, I am Professor Ashok Thampy, Professor in the area of Finance and Accounting at IIM Bangalore. I also hold the Florentry Chair Professor of Private Equity and Venture Capital.
Hi, I'm Professor Pratap Giri. I'm an adjunct faculty with the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. And, Professor Thampy and I are conducting jointly this program called Private Equity and Capital Market Finance.
This program has been offered since 2013, and over the years, we've been having participants from across diverse streams, including corporate executives, family business owners, investment bankers, lawyers, and accountants and consultants engaged in this area of capital markets and capital raising. And we have found that the program has been designed to give a holistic perspective of private equity and venture capital.
To give you a little bit more detail about the program, it's broadly concentrated on two big areas, which is venture capital, private equity on one side, and we also have discussions on capital markets, which is the public equity markets. The discussions will be both from strategic elements and transaction elements. We will be looking at pretty much all the aspects relating to how and why companies do raise VC and PE capital, as well as also look at how the transactions need to be done, looking at it from various stakeholders' perspective. As Professor mentioned, valuations, then deal structures, and of course the documentation, the legal aspects. We have guest speakers speaking on several of these aspects as well. And from the public markets point of view, we will also focus on one of the big things which is of relevance today, which is IPOs. So how companies go public, how do they raise, and why do they even look at capital markets? When do they have to think of an IPO? So there's a lot of strategic elements as well as transactional elements which are brought into these discussions. And we then cover also one of the important aspects which is often not overemphasized, which is the investor relationships post-transactions, whether it's private equity or the public markets. How do companies have to engage with investors? What kind of relationships, governance do you build in these relationships? How do listed companies look at capital markets for furthering their growth capital requirements and so on?
So the program has been designed in a very holistic manner that somebody who comes in wanting to know from fairly the ground up to doing a transaction would benefit from this immensely. We also have a role play and negotiations built into this program. So there is several elements of this program that are designed to give you walkthrough of what it takes to raise funds from both private as well as public markets and post fundraising as well.
So we not only bring in the practical perspectives which are relevant to practitioners, we also bring in a lot of strategy and management discussions which are relevant to academia and students. We also bring in the entrepreneurial side of it, like how do you think for doing a transaction or a private equity capital raise from an owner perspective or from a management perspective. So since all the aspects are covered adequately, this program is ideally suited for those who would like to know the subject from various angles and not simply from a market angle.